Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Halfcraft Mini Boats. Half the size, half the luxury, and a fraction of the cost. Go to Gumroad/Halfcraft and get yourself some plans or dimensions or any help you need. Follow us on American Boathead at Facebook.com and join our group, Mini Boats and More, on Facebook. We talk about a lot of stuff on there that you're guaranteed to have fun listening to, reading. Speaking of listening to, today my guest is Playing with Fire, Jimbo Jones. Playing with Fire on YouTube, and he's on our Facebook group. He's a admin and a great contributor, so I just had to have him on the podcast. We're talking about mini boats and more, and in the second episode, if you stick with us that long, you get to hear about some fascinating stuff about his experience in the Navy and some insights into the Navy vessels, and we just had a really great talk. So put your hands together and turn up your volume because our stuff's a little glitchy, but let's go. Jimbo Jones.
Playing with Fire over here.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
Good. Oh, my camera's a little high. But yeah, I'm out here in the northern wilds of BC. Well, semi-northern wilds and central interior.
Yeah, beautiful Canada.
Yeah,
you got snow up there yet?
Yeah, we got snow. We got a little skiff of snow, about half an inch where we're at. And I hear you guys have no snow.
No snow. Yeah, it's just colder than a well digger's butt, but no snow.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're not boating much.
Actually, some of the lower lakes, like Nicola Lake, which is one of the larger lakes around here, is open. But I got a friend coming up from the coast this week, next week, and we're planning on going ice fishing. But that's up on the plateau, so. Oh yeah. In the valley.
How thick's the ice got to be to go out on there?
For me, I prefer 3 to 4 inches.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Better safe than sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But once you get over a foot, I could drive my vehicle on there and not worry about it. I used to live up in the territories and up on Great Bear Lake, one of those great northern lakes, and they would land the airplanes on them when I was a kid. So I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
Of course, those airplanes probably weigh less than your car does.
Only with my big ass in it.
Yeah. Well, you got that little Suzuki Samurai I saw in some of your videos. That thing's probably not too heavy.
No. I no longer control that. I've got I got an Isuzu Roadie Trooper.
Oh, okay, a little bigger.
A little bigger, but a heck of a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. So are you gonna set that up to hold a little boat on top like you did with the Samurai?
Yes and no. I can do it if I go and keep it ultralight like yours is. But I got to make sure I've got the removable motor like Paul Elkins there.
Yeah. Oh man, that's huge. That's a big problem with mine for sure.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to go with the removable motor, and that way I can share it among a couple of different boats that I have.
Oh, that too. Yeah, that's other benefit there. Yeah.
Let's see.
So yeah, we're on here talking about boats, I guess. So
yeah,
we can just jump into it.
Let's see. We were talking about motors and electrics and whatnot as our primary opener, and okay. Just let me grab a few things over here.
Yeah. This is pretty fun. If you guys are just joining us, we're just getting this whole podcast thing going, and my buddy Jimbo Jones here has been a real player on our Facebook site, Mini Boats and More. You'll see him a lot as soon as you join, so I figured what better person to have on a podcast. So we're doing it. We're all both feel like a couple old farts trying to get this technology dialed in, but having a lot of fun on this side anyway.
Yeah, so here we are talking about electrics, and I figured we'd go over the simple basic ones. Where did I lose everything? I went and had everything all set up there the other day. Oh,
Yeah, I kind of blew you off the other day, so you're
It'll happen. Trust me.
short notice now. Yeah.
Being an adult sure does have responsibilities.
Oh, I didn't say I was an adult. Don't act like one enough.
Yeah, I have that problem too. So
yeah.
So
I think there's a lot of us here in the mini boat world that aren't quite fully grown yet.
we're not right in the head.
Yeah.
So a couple of things that I figured I'd talk about, or we could talk about while we're on right now, is some of the stuff that we've seen, or I've seen on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And somebody was talking about these sort of things. Have you got enough light to see those?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
These are connectors that have been mentioned, and they're modular connectors. Even though I use these size ones for my winch and for my jumper cables.
Okay.
These are like 80 amp or something like that. They'll 100 amp or something like that. Some ridiculous number. And these size here are what I use on my Blue Shark 4, my 14-foot tri-hull. And you can also use them nice and easy on the smaller boats.
Okay. For a connection to the battery from the
exactly.
The motor.
So you can leave all your wire connectors on there and just plug into this.
Okay.
Because
So you don't have to bolt it to the battery every time or use the alligator clips
They just snap together like that.
Yeah. That's slick.
So you can leave these connected to one side to your battery and one side to your boat and just pull them apart, and the connector is done.
Nice.
And I also use these. These are a trailer connector. And these, because they're a four plug and they're also waterproof, you can use them to attach to your wiring loom for your remote, for your power connector.
That's huge. Yeah. I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
that's obvious. Yeah.
This is a light gauge set, but you can get a heavier gauge, and because you're only pushing 400 pounds max through the water in one of your boats.
Yeah.
These will take the strain of the electrical current that's passing through them if you get the heavy duty set.
Okay.
There's a couple different wire gauge size, and that's what they, the controls the size of the wires. They call it a wire gauge, but it's like getting this little wire and these wires. And there's one larger set than this that you can get that you can properly wire in. It'll take the current without melting and burning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they're set up for like trailer lights, which draw a few amps.
Yes.
I'm guessing, yeah.
But as long as you're not running through the weeds or trying to stick the motor through a mud puddle or something like that. And now that you've seen what I'm planning on doing with a motor guard, the motor shouldn't come under that sort of stress. So you can get away with using a heavy duty set of these.
Yeah. Do you know the gauge of the heavier set? I'm guessing these are like 16 gauge or something. And
I am missing one more doodad. I've been reloading like a madman, a whole bunch of pistol ammo for a friend of mine coming up. And if I can go off screen, no, I'm not seeing it.
Well, as long as they're semi-close to the size of the wire that's already in the controller, I'm guessing that's...
let's see. The ones here are 16 gauge. These ones here are 16 gauge, but you can get a heavier gauge.
Okay.
And I've also talked about these.
Yeah.
This is commonly up here known as a Canbus connector, or it's a 2-pin connector.
Okay.
At my local Lordco, but you can go to down there in the States. What would it be? Harbor Freight.
You guys have a Harbor Freight up there?
No, we don't have Harbor Freight. We got a Princess Auto, which is
okay.
Which is the younger, more retarded kid.
Is that possible?
Yeah. Well, we can't get any of the real cool stuff like your $100 and $200 bolt together trailers. They won't allow those up here.
Really? Too dangerous?
I don't know, but I'm thinking about going down. Next time I go down to the States, I'm thinking about staying over a weekend and just having somebody throw one, buy one and just throw it in the back and just declare it.
Yeah, yeah.
I bought this box of scrap metal, and here's the receipt.
Yeah.
And once I'm
doesn't matter what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in a new box or something.
Once I'm across the border, I'll build it up right and weld it together rather than the bolts. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That seems like a bad idea, even with nylocks.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a lot of them put together, and it's not too bad as long as you're like running them together with an impact using Loctite. Me, I would just simply break out my little wire feed and just buzz the welds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because who needs to fold it up in their garage anyways? Everybody probably keeps them outside.
Exactly.
I'm guessing you don't have room in your garage like any of us either. Too many projects and storage.
I've got 70 feet of 2-inch tube steel lying there, and I want to build myself a trailer, and I've got my brother-in-law's 3.5K generator. I've got it's a mess in there. My brother recently commented to me, if only I had a shop where I could do motor work on my truck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe you could clean yours up, brother.
Yes. Well, my brother doesn't even have that.
Man.
So another thing that I use is one of these. This is a battery pack. This is one of those remote jumper packs.
Okay, yeah.
And I commonly use this as an oversized battery for charging my cell phone when I'm out and about for days on end.
Oh, wow.
And but it also comes with jumper cables.
Okay.
And I've used that setup with my other reactor battery. It's a slightly larger battery pack, not by much, and it'll power my little Minn Kota for about half 3/4 of an hour, as long as as long as I'm on like the number 2 setting, just to egg beat my way around the lake or something like that.
Yeah, wow, and it's so small and light.
Yeah, but I also use that thing to power my stereo when I'm in the Blue Shark, because if I'm not, don't have my big battery or my electric motor with me, I use it to power my stereo, and my stereo gets powered all day and all the doodads. Yeah, these things are pretty neat.
Gotta have tunes.
Yeah. And one thing I did get, does that look slightly familiar?
That looks like Dan Adams' little dashboard thing.
It is. And let's see.
A little digital display for what, voltage and amp draw maybe, or?
Yes. Make sure I've got it all hooked up.
I really gotta get into that stuff. I've been slacking as soon as I get to interior stuff, dashboards, seating, everything, I just lose my fire and want to start another boat. It's like it's just totally lacking. That stuff's cool. It just the whole fit and finish thing. It just looks awesome. I love lights and switches, so I should just buck up.
Apparently, my battery is nearly dead. My cell phone pack is nearly dead, but yeah, it's the exact same one. I just got it up here on Amazon.ca. But it was fairly inexpensive. But I also have one of these style multimeters. I got to have my one of my friends show me how to use this. I have no idea how to use this really, other than finding, it's either hot or it's not, and I've got 12 volts. So
it looks like one of the timing ones. Like you wrap it around one of the coil wire or a spark plug wire to do timing. Is that what that's going on, or is it a residential one? Or
it's one of the big ones that you can clamp around 600 amp leads or something like that. The big industrial stuff. A friend of mine's I got 2 friends that are electricians. One's a second year and one's a journeyman who just got laid off from the big boat building experiences up here in Canada. And
Awesome.
that's what he works with. So I'm going to get him to give me an instruction on how to use them, and I'm going to see about videotaping it for us.
Awesome. Yeah. So you could use that to figure out
your voltage
maybe
low.
right.
Yeah, rather than using one of these, if you don't have one of
Mm-hmm.
these, and if you got one of these, you can use this to tell you how much energy you're using at any speed, so you can figure out
Okay.
how much
Yeah.
roughly you're going to get out of your battery, which is always the
Awesome.
question.
Huge question. Yeah. All the time.
Because I always see you cruising around, and I go, man, I wish we had a river that I could do that in. But up here in where I'm located, there isn't much of a river system around me, and all
Yeah.
of these so-called rivers are more like creeks, and they're about 4 inches deep.
Yeah.
So
doesn't work for us. Yeah.
yeah.
Unless you
So
have a jet. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't have a jet, but
Yeah.
but
So you could, and then just in case nobody knows, the amp draw changes pretty dramatically from out in the air to once you're in the water pushing a boat, correct?
correct. That's what I went and let's see. I've seen it on a couple of other videos that one guy is trying to figure out his amp load, and he spins his motor up in the air, and he says, "Oh, it's drawing this," and then later he goes and realizes that it wasn't like that. So he had to go back, and he went out fishing and went and brought along his amp meter and went and checked out, saw the difference there.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally different.
But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I went and spun up the 55 amp motor, 55-pound thrust motor. I went and didn't even bother because I know until I stick it in a bucket of water, I'm not gonna be able to tell it's got a draw.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that's I'm really surprised you said that was a 12 volt
It is
motor. I thought most of the 55s were 24 volt.
It is a 55-pound thrust, 12-volt motor, single battery. I got it off of a Kijiji ad, and it's imported Guangxi or something like that from China, but it looks like it should be good, but I really can't tell until you physically get it in the water. And the big question, like we've been circling around, is voltage amperage draws. How much?
Yeah.
By the book, it says this, and I went and posted those pictures of what it says it uses.
Mm-hmm.
But until I go and find out, because it all depends on the weight of the boat. Also,
okay.
Because if you're pushing one of the large boats, like your large boat and my large boat, around in the water, it requires more energy to throw that around. But if you go and only have a 400-pound max little 8-foot mini boat, it's going to go a lot better with a lot less energy being used.
Yeah. I know a couple of my motors have had like a little dial on the top, or not a dial, but a diagram, and it says at speed number 1, the battery will last 12 hours or something, and at speed number 5, the battery will last 4, and then it's kind of increments in between that. But I've actually never stayed out longer than half an hour, to be honest. So it's kind of like,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my
when
gosh!
People ask me, I'm just like, I don't know. I've been kind of.
I want to take mine out to Okanagan Lake and cruise around there during a late evening summer evening, because it's like massive tourist area, and you'll have to wait until I go and get the boat done to see what I want to do to it. But it includes lots of dials and gizmos and everything. Kind of like your submarine simulator.
Yeah. There's just more switches and dials, the better. I just want to go in there and maybe. It's been stopped. I'm kind of like held up by keeping the motor removable so that 2 people can move the thing around. And as you've seen in all my videos, pretty much, I'm usually by myself. So it's been kind of like, I don't want to crack the bowl by trying to do it myself. And It's ready to roll. It'll float, so there's no like reason not to test it. But then also I have from Harbor Freight some security cameras that I put inside of a jar that I want to lower down to have view of way down deep underwater and have that displayed on the security camera actual screen. And so I've been kind of dinking with that and kind of getting distracted with the mini boat things because I was getting more YouTube views on that. But I really, really want to get that thing going because it's just like I've always wanted to be in a submarine. But
have you thought about enclosing one of your boats?
No, actually, I saw a guy had like a little bimini top. I don't know if you know what those are, but it's like
I've been thinking about one of those.
Yeah, with zip up sides and everything. I thought that would be pretty sweet. But,
yeah, I was wondering, why don't you simply hard enclose one of your boats, with a door?
Yeah.
And use it like that. That way you'd be like in the conning. Your head would be in the conning tower area.
Yeah.
Like it used to be.
Oh yeah, I even thought of like making a submarine or a boat that looks like the top of a submarine out of water, and then your head is inside that area where I guess people enter and exit. Is that what it's called? The conning area?
The sail,
Yeah. Oh, the sail, yeah. So then it looks like it's a submarine that's mostly underwater, but it's really a boat, and then maybe even have some viewing ports down in there. But I've always kind of liked small spaces and getting in there and acting like I'm in a spaceship or something, or a James Bond boat, or I don't know.
You should go and design it like one of those old First Ironsides where there's just a couple inches of water below above the water line, a couple inches of air above the water line. But then you really got to watch your math numbers because you always got to make sure that you have a way of maintaining positive buoyancy. Right.
You don't want to be sinking, so you want a way to get out of it too if you do pop a leak or something.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest parts about not making a real submarine is I was kind of doing the math. Oh, maybe a gallon, how many gallons the tub holds, and it's like 8 pounds per gallon. So I need like 400 or 500 pounds just to get the thing underwater. And then I'm thinking like, how am I going to move that around? I got to have it on a trailer all the time, and it just got out of my league really quick. So this is kind of a compromise.
Let's see. You could go another direction rather than looking at trying to add weight to your thing. You could try and build a smaller body.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, just not build in as much positive buoyancy to it. But above the water line, that's where you go and have, exterior, you can have flotation, a sealed flotation. So even if it does start to go down, the nose will still be kind of bobbing along.
Right. Okay.
Chop out, the back end, go and put in a big block of styrofoam behind you type, so that, even if it does start to go down, it's not going to go down that deep, and all you gotta do is like pretend that you're in one of those Mythbusters video, calm down, wait till it starts to fill up, equalize, open a door, and swim to the top.
Yeah, like when they drive a car into a pool and see if they can get out type of thing. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, so you could almost have like a flotation on a rope, like as if you were jumping a bicycle into the lake and you want to have a milk jug on it so you can find it or whatever.
Exactly.
So it'll still sink a little bit, but I think I see what you could even have it so it opens a hatch above you because once you sink and it opens up, I don't know.
Yeah. The pin, pops the lid.
My original idea was to lay prone on my belly in the bathtub and have my head inside the glass bowl, and that's why I made the whole controller movable so I could lay down there. But it turned out that I'm not that flexible, so I'm just sitting in it like a boat. Yeah.
I know all about that.
Yeah.
All about that. I'm not as spry as I once was, Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how you kind of get lost in the build and forget what you're going to do with it sometimes. So where you're like, you forget to make it wide enough to even be stable, or you just because you're going for design first and functionality after or whatever.
Yeah, that was my problem with the Blue Shark 3. Now, let's try pausing here. I'll restart my video just so they don't time out, and we'll go on to this, okay?
All right, yeah, maybe we'll just sign off this as a part 1, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
I'll pause mine too, so I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.